guys, Melissa here with TCT Crafts. Today we are going to be doing our first St. Patrick's Day design of the season. I hope that you guys enjoy this beautiful wreath tutorial. I hope you guys are able to make something similar. We do have most of the supplies in the shop. If you haven't subscribed, please be sure to do so, and let's get started. Hi guys, Melissa here with TCT Crafts. Today we are going to make a St. Patrick's Day wreath. So I've got my St. Patty shirt on and we are ready to get our green on. So let's get started. I'm going to use the 24-inch artificial pine wreath base again. These are my favorite bases to use. But if you have a wreath form that you want to use, you can definitely do that as well. I'm actually going to take and kind of squish this together to make it a little bit more oval. I'm going to tie a couple of these time ties together in the back. These ties are actually kind of short. So I may use a zip tie. But I think we'll make it work. And this is just going to give it more of a oval shape, an elongated wreath versus a round wreath. You can do whatever your preference is. If you like the round, just leave it round. But okay, so I'm going to set this aside, and I forgot to bring my basket again. Let's go ahead and cut up some mesh. So I'm going to be using 3 different colors of 10-inch mesh today. I've got a solid black, a black snowdrift, and green. So I'll start. This is how I cut my mesh. If you guys have not watched me before, I just drop it to the floor. I pull it up and I cut. I do not measure, but actually let me put my mat over here. Just so I don't get glue all over my table. And let me tell you how long. So this is about 23 inches long. But again, I don't measure them. I just pull and cut. But if you wanted to measure and use like a rotary cutter, I'd say, 22, 23 inches, probably pretty good. And everybody has their own way of cutting their mesh. Mine just gets hidden in my design. So I'm not too worried about it being exact. If I were using a pre-made wreath base that had pre-made ties on it, I would be more precise with my measurements. But on the evergreens, I don't. Okay, let me get these out of the way. Throw them over there, and let's cut up some. I didn't even count. I'm just cutting. If we need more, we'll cut more. This is a partial roll, so I'll probably just go ahead and cut up all of it. The other 2 are full rolls, and so we'll probably use about half of each. And the reason I chose this snowdrift is because our sign that we're going to use has the little black and white polka dots. And so I thought the snowdrift kind of reminded me of the little polka dots. I thought that would be cute in there. Okay, take this. I saved these tubes. These work good when you're shipping your wreaths. You can stick them in the corner of the boxes and it keeps it from getting smashed. I also use them in various craft projects. So I hang on to the tubes. Okay, let me move these out of the way. And let's cut up some black. This is just a black snowdrift border stripe. And I believe we have all of these in the shop, but use what you have. Just any black and green are the colors we're using today. If you have your own way of putting your mesh on, just fast forward. We have a lot of beginners out there, and so I wanted to go ahead and show the full process. Okay, let's stop there. We can cut more if we need to. So let me get these out of the way. Okay, so let's get started. So how I curl my mesh is I hold it up to my chest. I curl the ends a couple times, this a couple times, and then I just kind of scrunch it together and make like a little butterfly. And when we put it in our wreath base, I'm going to push it all the way down to that wire frame. Okay, and we're just going to alternate colors. So again, I'm going to roll it in a couple times. That just keeps the frame down, and then just scrunch it together. And I am laying these, I really don't pay attention, honestly, how I put them in. Like I said, most of the time this gets covered up, but these happen to be long ways. That makes sense. Instead of this way, I did it this way. Okay, let's do a snowdrift here. So I'm just alternating the colors. Another way you could do the mesh if you don't want to roll it on your chest is you could roll it on your mat a couple times, scrunch, and then when you get about halfway, then roll these ends in. And you have the same thing. I just do it on my chest. That was something that I learned from other designers. I know there's lots of them that do it that way. And that's just an easier way for me to do it. And I'm putting them fairly close together. They're pretty much touching sides with one another. Again, I'm putting them this way. I don't make a lot of St. Patty's Day, but the ones I usually do make, they usually always sell. And I don't know if that's just because there's not as many designers out there that create St. Patrick's Day wreaths. I don't know, but I do pretty well with them, so I usually sell the ones that I make. So I try to make, 4 or 5 every season. And if I see that they really start to take off, you know, I'll do an extra couple. So this will be my first St. Patrick's Day of this season. And I'm designing it with you guys. And this is going to be a cute design, but not like super over the top. I'm not adding a large attachment to this wreath. Basically, our sign is just going to be the show with some accessories, but I don't have like a big attachment that we're adding in this one. I probably will do a design that has like a large like leprechaun or shamrock, or you know, something that's going to be like an over top design, but this one is just going to be cute and more on the simplistic side. Probably gonna have to cut it more green, but let's use what we have here. I'm almost through with half of it. This is the longest, most boring part for me, is the mesh. But it's good to do like if you're watching a TV show or listening to a podcast, because you really don't have to think. It's just mundane, monotonous, I guess you would say. So you really don't have to think too much about what you're doing. So you can make some wreath faces up just as you're sitting watching TV and have them ready to go if you kind of have the color scheme in mind. And I just noticed I did that one. I did that one all. No, I didn't. I was going to say I thought I missed a color. But even if I did, it's okay, because you're not going to really be able to tell. It's not anything I would undo and redo. Oh, we might have enough. We're almost done. So, we probably cut up too much mesh, but we'll have it for my next project, because I'll probably use the same colors. There's not a whole lot of color options you can do with St. Patrick's Day. I mean, I guess you could if you did like a over the rainbow type design. You could add lots of colors in there. That would be cute too. I did one of those designs last year where I used rainbow colored ribbon to do rainbow colored mesh. So that's an idea. That would be cute. I'll have to put that on my list of ideas for this season. Almost done. I need a block. So we use probably about a little less than half of each of those rolls. So you could get another project out of, you could get 2 projects out of the 3 10-inch mesh rolls with this base. If you used a different base, like one of your pre-made wreath bases, you would probably need more mesh, but okay, so that's all the way around. Let me just see if there's any spots that I think we want to kind of fill in. I think for now we're okay, and once we add everything, if I see I see a hole, we can add it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up. And now let's get our sign added. So this sign, we do have these in the shop. Super cute. They come with a little hanger already. And then I just added a cable tie mount to the bottom part of it. So let me get some pipe cleaners. And we're just going to, I'm going to put two together and then just run it up under here. I like to add just a dab of glue to mine, but you don't have to. Let's do the other one. Add a little bit of glue. Okay, now while that's drying, let me kind of see where I want to place my sign. I think kind of right here in the center, maybe just a little above center, not just straight in the center, but like right in this area right here I think is good, and I'm going to do it at a little bit of an angle. So while that glue finishes drying real quick, I'm going to take a little drink. Okay. So we're going to put it kind of right in this area here. So I'm just going to take my pipe cleaners and run it down through that mesh. I'm just gonna flip it over, and I'm gonna use this piece that we tied together to kind of hold our sign. I'm gonna tie it around that. I'm gonna tie it around that pine tie. I'm going to add just a dab of glue. Okay. And this one I'll wrap around, the frame is right here, so I'll wrap it around the frame and tie it together. Let me make sure I've still got placement that I want. Still getting over this flu, cold, whatever it was that I had. It's like lingering. It's been here forever. Okay. Let that dry for just a second. And now I think we'll probably go ahead and make our bow. So while that's just drying for a second, I'm going to show you the ribbons we're going to use for our bow. I'm going to use this beautiful 4-inch Ferris silk with the polka dots. I'm going to use a 2.5-inch green Ferris silk. I have another black and white polka dot, just a 1.5-inch, and then a 1.5-inch green velvet that we have. So all of these are in the shop, I believe, except for maybe this 2.5-inch green. The rest of them, I believe, are in the shop. So those are the ribbons we're going to use. So let me go ahead and flip this over. I think we're going to do our bow, our big bow right here. And then I have these black and white poinsettia flowers, and I think we'll probably put one in each corner, like here. That's kind of my thought process. So big bow right here. So let me go ahead and set this aside. And let's work on our bow. I am going to use my bow maker because I have several ribbons and I am just not good at holding them all in my hand. So let's start. I know I want, start here, make our tail. Our tail is about 10 inches. I'm just going to twist it in that bow maker. And let's make about a 8-inch loop. I'm going to twist it. And then let's make another 8-inch loop. And just scrunch it down. I love this hair silk ribbon. It is so thick and it just holds its shape so good. So cut this. We'll set this aside. Now let's go in with our 2.5-inch green. I have a pin in here somewhere. There we go. And I'm going to make the loops about an inch shorter. So this is going to be about, no, let's do about 1/2 inch shorter. So about 7.5. I'm going to have just enough of this left. So that's perfect. I'm going to go about 7.5, scrunch it down. Okay. Now let's go in with our 1.5-inch polka dot. And again, I'm going to go in about 1/2 inch shorter. So we're going to be right about 7. And I will list all of these supplies in the description section of the video. So you can, if you don't have something similar, we do have some of these in the shop. Pretty much everything I'm using today, I think we have, except for maybe that 2.5-inch ribbon. Okay, and now we're going to go in with this green velvet. And this one will be about 6.5. Okay. All right, now let me get a zip tie. You can use pipe cleaner. I just prefer the zip ties. already had some of these open, but I guess I do not. Need to get like a little desk caddy so I can keep some of these out. I just haven't done it yet. Okay, I'm going to take 2 pipe cleaners and put them together again. And then we're going to take our zip tie and run it up underneath. I'm just going to hold it with my fingers and just kind of slide this through the back of that zip tie. And then cinch it tight, but not too tight, because I still want to be able to kind of like move my loops around a little bit. Manipulate them how I want them. Okay. Now I'm going to do it tight. Just cut that off. Okay, let's get our wreath back over here. And that's so cute. I like it. We're going to stick it right kind of. I want to still be able to see the sign, but I want it kind of hugging it. So let's just push this pipe cleaner through the back of that mesh. I'm going to wrap it around the frame and then tie it together. I can get it through there. It's difficult. There we go. Let me make sure it's still where I want it. Okay, perfect. I'm going to add just a dab of glue. So now we have our big juicy bow. Let's cut our dovetails. So I'm just for those that don't know how to do a dovetail, I'm just putting these 2 ends together and then just cutting at a diagonal. Now this one, I'm not going to do that. Just the way the ribbon is, I'm just going to kind of fold it. It's kind of that like tinsel type ribbon, and it'll just fray. So I'm just going to fold the ends under. And I don't really measure how the tails are. I just kind of cut at different lengths just to give it a little bit of different texture. Now this one I'm going to cut down because this was what we had left of that. And then I'm just going to fold this end under again. Let's cut these. And then the last one. Perfect. So this is what we have so far. Super cute. Okay. Now, I know I'm going to have my flowers kind of right here, so let's do something right up in this area here with some ribbon. Let's see what I want to do. maybe we do a, I'm gonna make this tail longer. And then this tail's shorter. Maybe we just do like a half bow. I do those a lot. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So let's add our 3. We don't have that 2.5, so we're just going to do the 4 with our 1.5s. And I'm just doing single loops, just a single loop, short tail, long tail. Okay, let me take one of the little pieces of our pipe cleaner that we cut off and just cinch this together, and then I'm going to use a pine tie to tie it into the wreath. So we've got one right here that's just perfect. Just going to tie it in. We'll have our short little tails. I think I'm going to actually pull a little on this, make it a little bit longer. Let me look at it. Yeah, I'm going to pinch this and tie it in there, right by the sign. Let's do our dovetails. Okay. Now let's do our dovetails at the top. And then I'm going to add our flowers before I add more ribbon, but we probably will add some ribbon to the sides. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Super cute! And I love this 4-inch ribbon. I mean, it just stands at attention. This Fair Silk is to die for. Okay, it's a little more expensive, but man, it is worth it. So that's what we have. Let's add our little flowers. So we're going to add 2 of these. Let me cut this. I don't need this stem that long. I just fan these out and then see where we're going to place it. Okay, right there. And I have a pine tie that I'm going to wrap around the stem. And then we're going to glue it, so that'll help hold that in. Okay, so I've wrapped that around there. Let me add some glue. And then I will fluff out my flower petals. Okay, so I had lots of glue. That flower is not going anywhere. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of fan out my petals again. Perfect. Let's do this side. Cut this stem down. I don't need all of that. Okay, so we're going to add this one right here in this corner. I have a tie right here. I'm going to tie around it. And then I'm going to add lots of glue, and then we'll fan it out. I love it, love it, love it. Super cute. Okay. I brought in this pick too. I don't know if we're going to use these little curlies, but this is actually was a Halloween pick. It has a little orange, but don't let that stop you, because you can cut these little, just cut these off. And now you have your little twisties. So I'm thinking if I want to make, and don't be afraid to reshape these how you like them. So I'm wondering if I want to do some little twisties in there. I think that would probably be cute. Let me retwist this. Okay, so now I have a little twisty. Maybe under the bow, around the bow. That's cute. Let me cut these off. And you can save these little orange pieces if you want. You can save a little orange for a Halloween project, because my husband says I'm a hoarder. I'm just going to throw it away, even though every part of me wants to hang on to it. I will go ahead and chunk it. Okay. So now let's unroll this. We're going to roll these around my finger again. If you could roll them around like a glue stick. I got kind of a little bit longer fingers, so it kind of works out okay, but you can roll it around a glue stick too. Let's do this one. Okay, so now we have some little curlies. And let's see where I want to place it. I'm thinking in the bow area. I like that. So I'm going to dip this in my glue pot. And I'm going to tuck this down in between, right there in the bow area. And let's do one on this side. Kind of coming up like that. Okay, and I have one more. So I'm thinking up in here. So we're showing both bows a little bit of love with our curlies, and we have a triangle pattern. still. Okay. Let me get a drink real quick. Let's add a few tails on the sides here. So I'm going to use just the 1.5 inch green and polka dot, and let's add a couple tails in around the sides. So just going to find some of these pine ties and push it up in there all the way to the frame. I don't measure mine, I put them in and then I cut whatever length I'm looking for. And then dovetail it. Okay, so there's that one. I'm just going to kind of go around and add a few tails here and there. We got some other things we're going to put in this design, so we don't have to go crazy with the ribbon, but add a few. Hopefully you guys cannot hear. My husband is working downstairs. I just moved our design space upstairs, but I hope you guys can't hear their meeting. If you can, I apologize. But maybe you'll learn something about the IT world, because that's what he does. Okay, so again, I'm just going around. I've got wherever I kind of see a empty pine tie, I'm just adding a few little ribbons and then giving it a dovetail. Okay, let's see, let's add one kind of underneath the bow, coming out. Okay. Let's see, let's add one more right in this area, and then I think we'll be done with the ribbon. So again, there's really no like pattern, recipe. I'm just kind of eyeballing, you know, trying to get fairly decent spacing, but just really looking for some kind of open pine ties that I can tie these in. So I know when I first started designing wreaths, I needed the pattern. I needed to do everything. I needed to measure out. My tails needed to be all a certain length, you know, like 13 inches. They needed to go in every, I was using the pre-made forms, so they had to go in every tie. And, you know, when you kind of work with the evergreens and you've got, you know, so many ties, you're not limited to just what the, like what the wreath frame has. You can just kind of put them wherever you want, to be honest with you. Okay, so let me put the ribbon up. And now let's add some of our, we've got a couple little embellishments. I have these cute little leprechaun hats. These came from Hobby Lobby last year. I do not know if they have their St. Patty's Day stuff out yet, because I haven't actually been to Hobby Lobby since before Christmas, if you can believe that. These were actually little hair clips. So you can take those off or just the way we're going to glue it, you won't see them. Okay. So I'm going to make sure I have it facing the right way because this hat has a little gold buckle right there. So let's just see where we want to place these. Maybe we clip it on this ribbon right in there. Ooh, I like that. That's a perfect little spot. Now we're not just going to leave the clip. We're going to add glue. But I like that. I have it clipped on that ribbon. And now I'm going to add glue around the actual hat and have it touch this other ribbon so that it's glued in, touch the mesh. We don't want it flopping or going anywhere. Okay, so let's do the other one. And let's figure out where we want that. Since I have that one up there, I know I want it down in this area somewhere down here. I don't know, maybe right there in the center of this bow would be cute. Let me see. Let me hold it up and just kind of look. We could also maybe put it on the sign. Let me see. No, I don't like that because you can't really see it. Let's see about in the middle of the bow. Oh, I like that. So let's put it, I'm going to kind of part the waters with our tails. And I'm just going to place it right in this area right here. So let me add a bunch of glue to the back side. And then I'm going to just put that in there. I'm going to add a little bit more glue, make sure it touches that mesh. So that we know it's not going to go anywhere. Okay. I think that's good. I like it. Kind of tuck down in here. Tuck right in there. Okay, now I have some, two of these little leprechaun or shamrock picks. These came from Hobby Lobby last year as well. I'm going to take the ribbon off and see where I want to place these. I know I don't need the stem that long, so let me go ahead and cut that down. Let's get this one. Well, this is in a pretty good knot that I cannot get off. Try to cut it. There we go. Okay, now let me cut the stem down. So I've only got two of these. You could cut these apart and do like individual ones, or we can leave it together. So let's see what we want to do. I'm thinking just leave it together, but let's do a dry run. So if I put one right there, maybe one up top. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and dip it in my glue pot. And I'm going to put it right in underneath our flower back here. And then this one I'm going to tuck in right down behind our bow, like that. Cute. Okay, and I have a couple of these little foam. We might put one in our bow to kind of hide that to hide the zip tie, but you really can't see it. It's in there pretty good, but I don't think so. I think I'm gonna leave it. But we've got some we can add around. Let's add our sprays first, and then we can use those as filler to cover up any of the greenery that might still be showing. So I brought these black sprays that were from Halloween. But since we have the whole black and green and white theme going on, I think they'll work perfect. So I'm just going to cut them down. So we've got little pieces. And then I also brought in some greenery that we might use. Cut this one. Oh, let me save this tag for our supply list. So I've got some little pieces now. We can just go through and kind of tuck in just to give it a little bit of another texture coming out of there. Cover up some of those pine ties. I'm tucking them way in there. I don't want this to be like sticking way out or anything. I just want it kind of like a little, just a little something extra in there to kind of add a little bit of texture and hide our pine ties. So I brought 3. I don't know if we'll use all 3. Let's put one up underneath this bow. I'm just going all the way around and looking for spots where we have that pine showing. I'm sticking it pretty good in there. That glue is touching those pine. Okay, let's cut up one more. I don't know if we'll need all 3, but I know we need 2. That one is fixed in. There we go. Cut that little thread. Okay. So let's keep going around. Stick one up underneath this flower. Add one right up under this bow here. Okay, we're back where we started. I'm going to add one right there underneath that little hat we added. Ow! Ow, ow, ow! Hot. Be careful with your glue. Don't do what I did. I just dripped that right on me, and that was very hot. Okay. Now let's add this last one on this side of the hat. I'm gonna be a little bit more careful with my glue there. There we go. Okay. This is what we have so far. Super cute. So this is turning out like really pretty, and you know, we don't have a large attachment. We started as the sign as our focal point, and then we've just added our big bows. We've added some flowers, a few little accessories. I brought in some of this greenery. I don't know if I want to add it though, but let's see. Let's just dry run a couple pieces. This is just to kind of fill in as well. I kind of like it. Okay, let's do it. So these are pushers, so you can push them up. So we'll push them up. So we have little clusters. These are new. We just got these in. They come in 2 different colors. I am using the, I think it's called Dusty Green. I think there's one that's just green and then Dusty Green. And I'm using the Dusty Green. So let's just use 2 of these. Again, I don't want a whole lot. Just kind of like what we did with the black sprays. Just a little extra something something in there and help cover up those little pine ties. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and dip this one. We're going to stick it right in there. I've got a hole kind of right up in here by this sign. Let me see. I may save, I was going to say, I may save that piece for when we hang it up. No, it looks okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and commit. I'm going to commit. Okay, I'm just going to start going around and look for the places that have pine showing. Let's go right up underneath this hat. Now I only brought 2 of these. We may need another one. So I may have to finish off camera if we do, but let's see what we can get away with. Again, I don't want too much of it, but I want to cover up the spots and make it look even. Like, you don't want too much of greenery in one area and not in another. Oh, we might actually make it work. Let's put one right here. I think we're going to make it work with just the 2. because we're almost back to where we started. I've got one more little piece. Let's see where I want it. Thinking we need to fill in this little hole right here on the other side of the sign. Since we did the one side, let's go ahead and do this other side. I'm just gonna push it down in there, just to kind of under that little loop. All right, last but not least, let's add a few of these foam pieces. Just kind of tuck them, figure out where we want to tuck them in. I like that one right there, so let's add some glue. Watch your fingers. Thinking one right there, kind of in the bow. Not up where I was originally looking, just kind of down underneath a little bit. Glued right onto that ribbon. And let's tuck another one right up in there as well on the other side. Let's put one right where we tied these ribbons in. Okay, let's do just a couple more. And I'm actually thinking maybe we stick one sort of in the center of this flower. Let's do it. Let's do it on the other flower as well. Okay. And we've only got two more of these, so let's just use them. So that I'm not hanging on to two of these. Let's add one. Let me see, maybe right at the bottom of this sign. Just glued right on there. I think that'd be cute. So let me hold some pressure onto that just for a second. Okay, one more. Let's find a place. I think right down here I see a little hole. So let's just tuck it down in there. think we are done. Super cute. Turned out